Hello and welcome back to another review. Today I have the H1R Nova in from Olight. Now this was sent to me by Olight directly for review, but I'll go through the torch and all of the included items as well as what I think of it. Just looking at the box here, it gives you some idea of what you get included. We have a battery with this model as well as the charging dock and a bag. On the back section we can look at some of the specifications. Note that today I'm looking at the cool white version. There is a warmer neutral white version available too if you prefer a warmer light. Now the turbo mode goes up to 600 and it drops down to 180 lumens. Olight are a bit more upfront about their run times, particularly with the turbo mode, which will drop down on all torches. Now looking at the included packaging here, just tells you how to unload the headlamp, which seems a bit silly, but Olight have mastered the art of cramming items into a small box. And you can also use the bag to remove the stainless steel clip. This is me unboxing the torch. And then we're looking at the bag here. You'll note the loop on the side here, that's for using it on the to take the clip off, and we have a drawstring at the top. This box contains the head strap, and it also has the magnetic USB charger included too. So you just undo this and then you can take out the USB charger. Quite a neat little package, not the easiest to put back together if you wanted to. Looking at the head strap, very nice quality, and the soft silicone on the front, so that's not going to dig in at all if you wear that directly on your head, so you don't need to wear a hat with this. You also have a nice thick band, nice quality, and an adjuster for the size. You'll see markings inside to show you which direction the torch goes. And then putting in this way, you can also use that flap section on the second loop to help get that in. Once it's in, nice and secure, and it holds its position very well, which is obviously essential for a headlight, because that's going to need to be in a position that you want without moving, and even when it gets wet it holds its position very nicely. Looking at the torch, same type 3 anodized aluminium that we get on all of these torches, and you can see it's very small. This is actually slightly smaller than the S1R batten, which in itself was a very small unit. On the bottom we have the magnetic charging point, and it comes with the clip pre-attached. You'll need to remove that to fit it to the head strap. This is the customized battery. You'll see 2 contact points, and in the cap point we have 2 contact points as well. That allows for it to charge, so there's positive and negative on that section. You can still charge this battery in a normal charger or use another battery as well. 50 centimeters length on the supplied magnetic dock. And having a quick look at the manual, a bit shorter than some of the Olight manuals that I've looked at, fairly straightforward following this, and you just have some information about operation and charging the battery. Give it a charge before you use it for the first time. Now you do have a memory level for all power levels, turbo for 30 minutes, simple single touch to turn it on, and then you push and hold slightly to go through the power levels. Alternatively, you can hold it down for a while and cycle through them too. Double press for turbo and push and hold for a couple of seconds, and that will enter into the moonlight mode. Once you hold it for a longer period of time, you go into the lockout, and the lockout's a bit different on this. You get a momentary on, so it goes into moonlight mode whenever you slightly press the button. A quick double press for the strobe mode. It has an SOS with this one. We'll take a look at what that looks like outside. Now looking at the reflector, you'll see this sort of micro lenses all over the front of the reflector. It's quite different to some torches that I've looked at, and I'll compare it directly to the S1R. You can see quite different. The S1R has a central area with a special lens on top of it, but these lenses are all around on the H1R Nova. Hopefully that will spread the light out. Now on the lower power levels, just to show you what it looks like and comparing the two, so you have a more traditional reflector effect on the S1R. Fitting this and moving it around, absolutely no problems at all. It holds its position very nicely, and you have full 360-degree rotation on the light. Once the power starts to drain, you'll see that it will kick down to the next level. There's no battery level indicator on this, but then you're not going to see it if it's attached to your head. Now I'm doing a charging test. You'll see it snap into place very nicely onto the magnetic dock, and the LED turns red when charging and it goes to green. We'll see the time taken was 1 hour and 21, and it put just over 704 milliamps an hour into the battery, so the battery is above specification for its quoted capacity. And now testing the termination voltage, spot on at 4.2 volts. So that's received a full charge. This is IPX8 rated, so it will be usable underwater up to around 2 meters and completely submersible. Taking a look inside now at the beam shots, we have this at a low power. You see it spreads out quite nicely, and then you kick it up the power level. Again, it just covers the entire area that I'm filming in. So a very wide distribution. Moonlight mode is 2 lumens, and I'll compare it directly to the S1R, which is rated to half a lumen. You'll see that the S1R on the right there is a smaller circle. Personally, I think it's okay, but I know some people prefer sort of sub-lumen outputs, but this does spread it out over a larger area. I don't find it too bright, it's just a point to note. Now this is a longer range test, perhaps slightly difficult for the H1R, but we're about 100 foot. You can see once you throw it up to the turbo mode, it really does spread the light out. Pay attention particularly to the edges and the foreground where you see it's lifting the light out all around that area. Now this is the roughest TI10, which is another super compact torch. This has a swivel head, but you'll see it has a more defined spot area. So this torch would be for someone that wants a bit more range rather than a wide beam spread. The S1R batten is next, and this would be a mix between the two. You do have those 900 lumen modes on both of those torches. You can see there it really does light up the area, but doesn't quite have the width wide angle spread that the H1R has. Quick look at the SOS mode outside. Some people might prefer a rapid firing strobe mode. That might be something to look at, possibly offer an option for that. We're on the wide angle shot now with the H1R, and we'll start kicking up the power levels, and then finally go into the turbo. That runs for a few minutes, but it really does light the area up. It's like a wall of light which just extends right across the frame onto the S1R. You'll see the difference now between the two. It does have that nice 900 lumens turbo mode, but it doesn't quite have the width and spread that the H1R Nova has. This is the H05S. This is a plastic unit from Olight. Again, it's rated to around about 200 lumens, which is quite good for a 2-cell unit, but it doesn't have the power or spread, so quite an upgrade if you go for the H1R. Longer distance shot onto the roof line, but once you throw it up to the turbo mode, really you won't have any problems seeing quite a decent distance with this head torch. Close up beam shot, moving up through the power levels again, and you'll see again there's that sort of wall of light which extends across virtually all of the frame. This is my telephoto test, and again it's covered a large area. It doesn't have the intensity of some of the torches that I've tested, but it does cover the width of the frame. Again, another telephoto test. Lights up the entire area evenly. Quick test down our side of the house, and I'll go through the power levels again. You'll see once we start getting up to the mid to high levels, it really does light up the whole area, and there's a very even spread of light, which is probably exactly what you're looking for with a head torch, because it gives you a wide angle view. You see there the whole area is lit up very nicely and evenly. There's no obvious sort of hot spot. The camera overexposes slightly on the paintwork. This is a quick shot showing you the bag being used to remove the stainless steel clip. Quite handy. It can be quite tough to remove that, but it's better that it doesn't fall off on its own easily. Quick shot here showing you the side control, very nicely positioned, so quite intuitive operation. I also like the magnetic base. Now you'll find that this could be more useful than say the S1R, because the light would go forward due to the design, whereas this will go down if you're attaching it to the side of an object like this shed roof, which could be more useful potentially for the torch. The ultimate design would probably be to have a swivel head. That's something which could be looked at maybe to give you the ultimate combination between a headlight and a torch. Quick summary on the H1R Nova. Olight have done a nice job updating this over the previous model that didn't have the built-in charging. You just had to exchange the cell if you wanted to charge it. So this will probably be very useful for someone that uses a head torch or headlight much more frequently, because you're just going to use the magnetic dock. We can also use the USB dock, which is available separately to charge it. It makes charging very simple and easy. There are a few points to note. I do prefer the older model's hard case. It's just a personal preference myself. You have to use the Olight cells for in-torch charging. The strobe mode choice, perhaps some people would prefer a faster rapid fire flashing, but on the upside the charging is very easy with the magnetic dock. You've got a higher power output versus the previous model. You also get very good quality head strap and accessories too, and the beam pattern is just about ideal for a headlamp because you'll get a wide, very even spread of light, which makes it ideal for up close, and you have that nice turbo mode which gives you that extra punch when you need to see a bit further in the distance. And you can also use it as a torch or a headlamp, so you have dual use with this. Now I hope you found the review useful. Don't forget to subscribe, where I'll be looking at more torches and other products shortly. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.